This is Cavion Sabio, and we are on episode 11 of My 35s. In this episode, we're shooting in Soho, and the reason why I chose Soho is because I work in Soho. I had a couple of hours to kill before work, and I wanted to make sure I was able to record an episode for you guys at this time. As you can see, I'm starting off shooting some plants, this fan, things like that. I'm using these photos as my warm-up shots before I start shooting people, moving in the city and it being alive and things like that. Usually I wouldn't do this. I like to shoot without loading the film first for my warm-up shots, and then I load it. But because I was a little pressed for time, I figured it would be best to bring you guys on that journey of me warming up. As you can see, I'm doing my classic selfie shot here. I like to do that because it's just a nice way to kind of chronicle how I'm progressing in my film photography. And my hair gets longer over time, so I don't know if you guys pay attention to that, but it's a nice little nod to the progress of my locks growing. Shooting a little bit more inanimate objects for my street photography stuff as my warm-up. And as you can see, I see people kind of walking around a little bit, but I'm still working up my eye to get those shots that I'm feeling would be the best. After I took those photos, I was walking and I see this guy, and he has a Leica on his shoulder. You don't really see it in the photo itself, but I noticed that as I was taking the photo, and the woman in the yellow dress really just drew me in, so that's the reason why I initially took that photo. This photo, this guy was sawing something and I thought it was really cool. I didn't want to get too close and startle him and then he accidentally cut off his finger, so I kept my distance. Me personally, like many other film photographers, we are very drawn to neon signs and things like that. I think I was shooting on portrait in this episode, so I decided to see how it looked, even though it wasn't nighttime. For some reason, the colors of the plants and stuff like that, the greenery, just really drew me in this episode. I'm trying to figure out how I can tell a story with these inanimate objects or with non-moving objects, and I think I do pretty alright here. I think I've still got a little bit more work to do with it, but making progress. I see this guy leaning up against the wall, and I usually don't see people lean up against the wall like that or against a door on the street. Usually they're on a bench like you can see these people, so that's why I took that shot. I thought that shot was really cool. Now, anyone who knows me knows I love animals, sometimes more than people, and I was about to capture this dog, and then he lays out just like that in front of his owner just as I'm taking the shot, which was really cute to me. Now, these shots I honestly were not the happiest with because I thought they would have come out a little bit differently with the red being the way it was. I think it was just too much going on and it kind of doesn't have a focus point. Well, this photo a little bit, right, because it's just the tree, but the one before it I was a little iffy on. I thought it looked good at the time, but that's one of the things about film photography. You get your photos back and you see which photos work and which ones don't. Again, a couple more dogs, black and white no less. Now, as I'm standing here on the corner, I see these two people walking towards me, and this one girl, she's coming up in a second, she kind of gives me like Avril Lavigne vibes, because I'm trying to figure out which way I'm going. I don't know yet. I like to just explore, let my eye and my feet and my camera take me wherever. I go into a certain area of the city and then just kind of wander around from there. But as you can see, these two people, the one on the left gives me some hella Avril Lavigne vibes, and it was pretty cool, so I wanted to capture that moment. Now these two workers who are in front of me, I thought they were pretty cool, and I liked the way that the light was hitting them, and I was trying to get a shot, but they were too far away from me, and I felt like because they were too far away, I wasn't able to get a profound enough shot as I would have if I was a little bit closer. Then I see this mirror on the left, and I just loved the way it looked, the angle. I wanted to take a picture of, you know, my sneakers and kind of have, I guess, a little reverse bokeh. I don't know if that's actually a thing. And then I bend down here and I take another one. I usually don't do multiple selfies when it comes to my episodes and vlogs, but just because of how the mirror looked here, I was like, oh yeah, I definitely have to get these shots, and I was very, very happy with them. This guy's boho style was so cool to me, and I've always wanted to have that boho style, but I feel like I couldn't fully pull it off, maybe just in bits and pieces, but he definitely had that awesome look, that awesome boho look. Walking up Prince Street, as you can see, I was trying to get this photo to be a little bit more than it was, try to give it a little bit more life. Hopefully it had more life in it, but it didn't come out exactly how I wanted it to. I also wanted to capture the mother and the child, but the child was a little too far away, and I just couldn't get them both in the frame. Now this shot is another one of my favorites from this episode. Just the reds from the GoPro and from the film itself, the way it was set up, like, I feel like that is the type of storytelling I want to have when taking photos of inanimate objects or still objects. Give it a certain angle that's just like, oh yeah, this looks awesome, you know, with the different colors that are there, you know, the way that it pops in the film. It's definitely pretty awesome to me. So this guy coming up in the chair, I was trying to get the photo where the focus was on the mirror, where the mirror is, but I was too far, and the bokeh didn't come out the way I wanted it to. I probably would have been better off with a zoom lens taking that shot, but I tried to redeem myself with the follow-up shot of his back. Alright guys, that's it for this episode of My 35s. I hope you enjoyed it. For the extended version of this episode, exclusive and early content, subscribe to my Patreon for $5 a month. The link will be down in the description box below. If you haven't already, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe, because it does help grow the channel here. Until next time guys, I appreciate you, and I'll see you guys in the next video.